mirror, say it loud. Lock in, lights, camera, action. Telly, SBN, it's a top scene. Lock in, lights, camera, action. I don't fold a bend when it's time to win. Trolling cause we're rolling under lights, we don't get anxious. Do it with a purpose, we don't do it to be famous. Really they been hating cause they ain't us. Lock in and get dangerous. Lock in, lights, camera, action. Telly, SBN, it's a top scene. Lock in, lights, camera, action. I don't fold a bend when it's time to win. Trolling cause we're rolling under lights, we don't get anxious. Do it with a purpose, we don't do it to be famous. Really they been hating cause they ain't us. Lock in and get dangerous. What you get, you see, I'll always be me. What you get, you see, I need no ID. I need nothing, no, something wrong. I like Kim Rose, I need money rolls, flip it go, see you when I'm old. In a Tesla, still would ride a diesel, I'm not green, no, but the checks was. Now they come in wires, I'm retired off the desk months. I was in the creek, then in the dirt, I lived on both sides. Still was always me, no double life, can't pick the best ones. Friends, they come and go, still are the best ones. Through the lowest lows, and I still got blessed up. I've been running non-stop, I can't rest up. I'll just keep on working till I'm the best up. I've been trying to do right, but getting left much. Slipped and fell a few times, still got my chest up. In the gym, I got my chest up. New Takovas on my toes, now that the check's up. Giddy up! Lock in, lights, camera, action. Telly, SBN, it's a top scene. Lock in, lights, camera, action. I don't fold a bend when it's time to win. Trolling cause we're rolling under lights, we don't get anxious. Do it with a purpose, we don't do it to be famous. Really they been hating cause they ain't us. Lock in and get dangerous. Look in the mirror just for motivation. I see my past, I see my kids, it gets me motivated. Don't gotta say it, I just know they're hating. Little white boy, tattoos and money, Ben had that motion, baby. I got that motion like the ocean, baby. 9 to 5, then the 5 to 9, yeah, they used to call me crazy. I put that work in, you can't call me lazy. I'm in the light, no pressure, never faze me. Got me shining like a diamond, put one on my lady. Only one girl who could call me baby. Vision clear, I used to see it hazy. Vision clear, I could see it now. Every time they try to take me out, back to back, I'm wildin' now. I hit the top and didn't say a word. I hit the top and didn't say a word, and still they never shout me out. This not for you, I'm trying to make me proud. This not for you, I'm trying to make me proud. In the mirror, say it loud. Lock in, lights, camera, action. Telly, SBN, it's a top scene. Lock in, lights, camera, action. I don't fold a bend when it's time to win. Trolling cause we're rolling under lights, we don't get anxious. Do it with a purpose, we don't do it to be famous. Really they been hating cause they ain't us. Lock in and get dangerous. Lock in, lights, camera, action. Telly, SBN, it's a top scene. Lock in, lights, camera, action. I don't fold a bend when it's time to win. Trolling cause we're rolling under lights, we don't get anxious. Do it with a purpose, we don't do it to be famous. Really they been hating cause they ain't us. Lock in and get dangerous. What you get, you see, I'll always be me. What you get, you see, I need no ID. I need nothing, no, something wrong. I like Kim Rose, I need money rolls, flip it go, see you when
Jamie Hall, Ryan Grant, table 22, please. Ben, Claire, Carl Williams, table 17, please.
Well, good morning here from Spots and Stripes in Redhill, Surrey. We are down to the last 16 in the main event of GB9 Tour Event 3. I'm delighted to be joined, John Park, in the commentary box. Hello, mate.
Hello, Ben. Yeah, pleasure to be here. And we have got a cracking matchup in front of us now. You know, a veteran of the GB9 Tour and the international 9-ball scene, Imran Majid, against a rising star in the scene, Rigley from Scotland. This is going to be a really good one, so stick around, folks.
Yeah, Matt, I understand ran Fraser very close yesterday, just a hill loser. Fraser Patrick, defending champion, if you want to call him that, from the last tour event, so certainly very, very capable, and this will be close, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And Matty has been taking down plenty of events up in Scotland, the Rasson McGoldrick's Tour, so he certainly has the game to bring to this matchup against Imran. So Imran to break in rack number 1. Makes the 1-ball, cue ball. I don't think he can see the potting angle on this 2-ball to the right middle. I could be wrong.
Now, I'm interested to see what Imran can do, because he's come through the winner's side. He's obviously playing well, but this is actually the first event I've seen him play at since the World Championships in Saudi Arabia. Now, I spoke to Imran before this match just to make sure he was all right with me sharing this, so this isn't information that he doesn't know is going out, but he actually suffered from a big bout of pneumonia when he was out there. I was refereeing his match. I can't remember who he was playing now, but he actually had to stop the match halfway through. He really wanted to carry on and play, but his body just wouldn't let him. And after that, he went to an emergency hospital, found out he had pneumonia, and he's been battling against that since. And he's not 100%, but he is still fighting out there, and it's great to see him back competing where he should be.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a competitor. He's got an absolute granite mental game, and I think everyone will be glad that he's on the mend from that, because I remember when the news went out, it was quite worrying for a lot of us. He's been a staple of the scene for so many years. A lot of friends, a lot of supporters, wishing him well. So he's played a push out here, and think you've got to take this on, really. Like, or certainly not pass it back. You've got options for the safety. I don't think Matty will be playing aggressive this early in the match, but
Yeah, there's too many balls down in this bottom left-hand corner. You can't really throw this away. You think you're going to get this safe, which he's done. So can I ask you, what do you think of the breaking format with regards to the break box? Is it something you've adjusted to?
yeah, I mean, a lot of events now have been using it for the last few years. Obviously, Matchroom have brought that in quite a while back, and a lot of the other tours followed suit. When I was playing in the Rasson events in Scotland, they had the break box, I think, from about 2 years ago, possibly longer. And even the local flyers I play in down in Manchester and Imran's just kicked the 2 in and is beautiful on the 3. That is already a big bit of rub. To go back to your question, even the local flyers playing out of Savannahs in Manchester, they're using the break box. Same in their weekly 9-ball league. It's becoming more and more a staple of just 9-ball being played up and down the country, and I think it's necessary. I think the break had gotten too controllable, too easy when you could just break from the side. There's been all sorts of modifications made to the breaking rules over the years, from having the 1 ball on the spot to now having the 9-ball on the spot. And, you do see players just having to adjust.
Yeah, the first time we really tracked the metrics on this was at the World Championships this year, where we were able to track the break and runs of every player in every match. And the most we had, and remember you're talking about the best players in the world on the best equipment in the world in the best tournament, the most we had all week was 5 break and runs in a row, once, from, I think it was Robbie Capito. And then there was a couple of 4s and quite a few 2s and 3s. But it just goes to show you it's something that's made it not just a break and run game now. It's those sort of situations where people are breaking and running 3, 4, 5 in a row are just so rare. That people are always going to get opportunities with this break rule, I think.
Absolutely, and especially an event like this where the alternate break format is used. You can have lots of dynamic back and forth frames. It's not just one person dictating the flow of the match, which can happen on a winner breaks format, particularly in the older formats where the break, whether it was breaking with the 1 on the spot or breaking from the side, it was so much easier to consistently make balls, consistently control shape on the next. You had people running out entire sets.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it just on social media this week. Fedor Gorst posted a video of one of his 13 in a row with 9 on spot, but he was breaking from the side. So that wasn't a break box situation, and the break box means that the cue ball is going to get thrown to the side and there's far less control. If you can break from the side, you can pretty much stop it where you want to in the middle of the table. But that's still incredible, to be fair. But you just don't see that with this format, I don't think. I think it might happen once, but I haven't seen it yet.
So Imran with a bit of a funny shot here. I believe that 5 is right on the point. So I don't think it's available to the middle. Yeah, he's really tried to get out there. He's got a shot here. Just float this 6 down. Natural path up towards the 7 with the cue ball. And he's dealt with that tricky little 5-ball situation very well.
So while we're concentrating on this match here, there are 7 other last 16 matches going on, as the draw was all done at the same time. Now we're here on TYPLive on the main table. Over on the other arena table, I can just see, I think we've got Danny Gockel playing Michael Hope. So you can watch that on the Spots and Stripes YouTube channel if you prefer.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Just from where he was on the 7, he was forced into going towards the short side of the 8, you know, playing the cue ball across the table. Just landed a bit low on it. Now he's got Matty in a touch of bother, because even if you get the hit here, it's quite difficult to guarantee not giving up a shot.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest differences I see between a top pro.
Ooh.
Wow, where's that going to look scratch? He's okay. Well, that's a stroke of luck each for them now. But yeah, that's one of the decisions I see made by a lot of the top pros that really makes the difference. Is there have been a lot of amateur players that could have cut that in and probably would have tried it, but could have missed. Cue ball could have been going anywhere. But Imran really took the right decision, but he probably hasn't got the right result, to be fair.
A little bit of a touchy 9 to start. There we go, yeah. No problem for Matty.
And although it was obviously a stroke of luck that the 8 went in, he knew he had to make solid contact and get it moving to give it as much chance as he could to get in the pocket. So he's done everything he can. That's just 9 ball for you.
The game we love and hate. Yeah, Imran, he's been, you know, you see it all the time. You can sometimes get punished for a good shot.
Yeah, it's about making sure you don't change your decisions, really, just because that's happened. Because, I mean, how often does that happen? We see it, but most of the time you're going to be okay in those situations, aren't you?
Yeah, it's like blackjack. Play by the book. Might sometimes go wrong, but statistically speaking. Matty's made the 1 in the side. Did you got a shot on the... No shot on the 2. Might have an edge of it to maybe play safe off, but the corner pocket's potentially coming into play. I mean, look at this though. Like, you know, we talk about the break, you know, the break box making things harder. You know, he's made the 1 right in the middle pocket. He's got the white towards middle of the table. But he would be, you know, you would expect most times to have a shot on the 2 here. But it just goes to show that, you know, players are adjusting now to this new format of the break. You know, they're able to kind of get control of that white to the centre table. Well,
they are adjusting, and the top players will always do that. Actually, you could see more of that than I thought you could there. I didn't realise you could make that much contact. But that's why very recently, within the last year or so, this new, it's not a rule, so I'm not going to say it's a rule, but sort of a new system whereby racking the 2 ball on either of the sides or the back of the rack has come into play. Just because those are the places where it's least controllable. So if you're hitting the pack forcefully, as you should be, that 2 ball, you cannot predict where it's going to go. And that's what most of the players want, and that's why the changes have been made. So early jump shot here for Imran.
Lovely. Let's see. Yeah. Shape on the 3 as well. So, chance here for Imran to put his stamp on this match.
So how has your tournament gone then? You're hearing commentary, which is not the greatest sign.
Oh yeah, so I'm out of the main. So I'm just waiting for challenge 1 for the draw to start on that. I wasn't able to sneak into challenge 2, unfortunately. Yeah, so I got put in the loser's side by young Ukrainian player Konstantin Ivanov yesterday morning.
Yeah, he's very good.
Oh,
very
yeah.
Good.
It was a classic 10 a.m. GB9 match. You know, hot and cold. You know, so some good stuff from both of us, and then some questionable. But lovely competitor. I think he's only about 18 as well. You know, got a bright future in the game, I think. You know. And then I played Harriet Haynes on the TV table, and got to see firsthand what this new TV arena is like to play in, because this is my first GB9 back since it's moved down to Spots and Stripes in Redhill. So yeah, I beat Harriet. I got, and she'll probably agree on this, I got a lot of rub in that match. I got broke, made the one in the side, 2-9 was nailed on. Played like position from a 3 to a 4-9 combo, ran into it, and then it just welded, like nailed onto the corner. I got away with a few things in that match. It's a pleasure to play her. Got a lot of respect for her. And then I got beat in, I think, losers round 3, because I got a bye because one of my opponents didn't show up. I got beat by Mark Capito, and he's a great player.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, now just having a bit of fun in commentary, waiting for Challenge 1 to start. We'll see how that goes.
So those are the matches that are going on right now in the last 16. Some tasty draws here. We've got Mark Foster against Tom Staveley, Liam Monk against Rich Saunders. Now Rich Saunders, he's a very capable player. He had a tough draw yesterday in So Shaw first match, and he was certainly not the favourite to win that, and he came through pretty well. He said he played really well yesterday, so he's got through to the last 16, which is good for him. I said Danny Gockel is playing Michael Hope over on the other stream table, which you can see on Spots and Stripes YouTube channel. Gary Thompson's playing Mark Capito. The defending champ Fraser Patrick, he's playing Ashik Nathwani. Dean Shields is playing Salman Golami. Now Dean and Jake Dillon Newlove, who's also playing now against Oliver Lawrence. It's the first real wave of big English 8-ball players coming across and having a go at this. What do you think about players like that coming across and having a go at this game?
So yeah, Dean I know reasonably well. He, again, he's Manchester. He's got his club down there, and he was playing in the Savannah's 9-ball scene. I think he picked up 9-ball about 2-3 years ago. And obviously he's an 8-ball champion. But in terms of how quickly he adjusted and has gone to the kind of heights he's gone to, he's playing in the matchroom events. He's been over in Hanoi, Vietnam. And he's had quite deep runs at a few of these. Well,
you mentioned Hanoi, Vietnam. His first event there was last year, and he drew local favourite Duong Quoc Quang. I think it was the last 64 stage, and obviously the Vietnamese absolutely love their pool, and Duong Quoc Quang is just their absolute favourite. And Dean put him to the sword in front of his own fans, which just, something you wouldn't have thought would happen. And since then, he's really gone on a run. He's beaten Billy Thorpe in an event, I know. And he's really got the capability to go much deeper, I think. We've seen people like Fraser Patrick get to the last 8 of the UK Open. It's certainly something I think Dean would be capable of.
Yeah, I mean, he plays 9-ball like a 9-ball player. What you sometimes see whenever people first make the jump from English 8-ball to the 9-ball, they kind of try and play it like they would play 8-ball. Whether it's the way that they would address the ball or some of like the positional routes or patterns they take. Dean plays like a 9-ball player. Same with Jake. I mean, Jake's been around on the 9-ball scene for a few years now as well. And he's, a solid competitor. Yeah,
Jake took part in our first sort of the modern era UK Open, and I remember it vividly because I wasn't expecting to see him there. I obviously knew him from English pool. And I think he made the last 32 at his first attempt. I don't know if he's ever sort of replicated that, but he did all right that day.
Hopefully it continues, as the 9-ball scene in the UK continues to grow. We want more of these 8-ball guys to, give it a go and see how they find it. And, at the end of the day, we're all playing pool. We all love pool. So it'd be lovely to see more of those guys get involved and, see the scene grow.
Yeah, and as the game does take off and you get more of these clubs like Spots and Stripes here, like Savannah's in Manchester near you, there's going to be more opportunities for everyone to play. What a lovely shot that is, by the way. Can he see the 3?
Has he gone for the short cue? He has.
Yeah, I'd love to see the game take off more in this country, and that's something that GB9 is certainly helping to achieve. Because you go anywhere else in the world, as we do with the World 9-Ball Tour. Oh, he's just caught that
Ooh,
bit thick.
chance here for Matty.
Yeah, you go anywhere else in the world, and the crowds just fill up the venues, and the noise and the atmosphere. It's unbelievable. It's a bit like a dance tournament. The people just have a great time, especially in Asia. But America's very good as well, and a lot of European destinations. But we really need it to take off here. There's definitely plenty of players capable. You know, when the GB players were dominating the scene with people like Imran and Mark Gray, love to get back to that really and have a few really top GB players in the World Series.
So an unexpected miss from Matty there. Let Imran back in. These middle bags, they do play tight. You know, you do have to hit them sweet. I think on a lot of club tables, that shot by Matty would have dropped.
Yeah, it's something you have to get used to, aiming a bit different, I've found, from coming, because I've come from mainly a snooker and a little bit of English pool background. And with the curved pockets, you're aiming at just missing the near jaw. Whereas here, you really want to fire it into the far jaw, don't you? Because they're so flat.
Yeah, and especially like, you know, at those sorts of angles or like, you know, sharper, that near jaw, that near point just looks like Mount Everest.
Yeah, it sticks right out, right out.
So, you know, like Matty's played the shot the right sort of way on that 4-ball, you know, play it off the far jaw, but on these tighter pockets, like if you hit them hard and don't quite catch them nice, they can just rattle out on you. So Imran now looking like 2-1 up. Commentator's curse? Nah.
Yeah, it is real, I'm afraid. You will find you'll do it at some point. We all do. But Imran leads for the first time in this match 2-1.
So Matty just needs to put that 4-ball just out of his mind.
You'll know him better than I do. Is that something he can do pretty quickly?
I think so, yeah. He's a very, very solid head for the game. And it's something he has been working on, I believe. You know, well, I'm not going to put myself on the same level as Matty. He is better than me, but a lot of us, certainly amateurs, you know, when you're at that kind of like 600s, you know, mid 600s Fargo level, your head is like the biggest enemy you've got. You know, Matty, I think he's low 700s. You know, that is something that he has worked on a lot. You know, just if you miss a ball, just forget about it. You know, you cannot dwell on those misses. You know, especially this early in the match, he'll obviously be disappointed, but I don't think he'll be castigating himself too much over it.
No, he's just missed the 1 ball there, hit the top point of the middle pocket, which gives Imran a fairly routine opener. And a lot of those balls track to the top of the table. 2 to the 3 doesn't look bad. And it looks like the 4 passes the 8 to the top left, so you think this is going to be a good opportunity.
Yeah, if that 4 passes, then these all connect pretty well.
I'm always interested, as a player, do you feel more pressure when you know you should get these, or do you just sort of take it in your stride?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'd much rather have like a bit of an awkward run out where I've got to do a little bit than like just have like a road map. You know what I mean? I had it in my first match yesterday against Constantine where I took out some really nice clearances. And then I think, like midway through the match, I made something like 3 balls off the break and just had a middle to long straight shot on the 2-ball to the corner and just absolutely tweaked it. You know, one of those situations where you're thinking like, all right, yeah, road map these, you know, the score's going to be whatever, and then you just forget to cue the ball. You know, the better players will probably say no, they want the road maps every time, but yeah, I do think there can be a little bit more pressure, you know, not to just do something silly and like just give back a rack that you really should be taking.
Yeah, it's more often in these situations where you see someone put a quick one in because it's so simple, and then they're short on position. For example, if Imran here just didn't take care and didn't go past the 7, he could be in trouble. But you expect a player of his calibre to take care of this.
Yeah, nothing much to do here, just float over. I'd like to be low on this. Yeah, just naturally float down for the 9 in the bottom left pocket.
Absolutely perfect, as you'd expect. And very quickly, Imran is 3-1 ahead, and it's his break next.
What are your thoughts on winner breaks versus alternate breaks?
Well, thanks for asking. Well, honestly, it's a matter of preference. My personal preference is winner breaks. I like the idea of when someone makes a mistake, they can get punished more than one rack. You know, it's I really like that dynamic of the whole. But then I'm usually refereeing at the top level where these guys are going to run away with a few racks generally after that sort of thing happens. I think that, especially for GB9, I think that alternate break is a really good idea, because Matt, for example, the rack previous to this one, he missed that 4 ball in the side, but he knew that even if Imran ran out the rack, he was going to get the break in the next one. So you've always got that sort of safety net of, it's only going to cost me this rack, which I think is really good when you're still sort of building up as a player.
There is that element of it, but let's say hypothetically this was to go, you know, something like, I don't know, 7-2 to Imran, you know, and Imran only needs 1 or 2 more racks, and Matty's got quite a deficit to overcome. In an alternate break format, I mean, like, you know, we expect Imran, for example, to, you know, if he's breaking and landing with a decent run out in front of him, more often than not, he's taking them out. So if your opponent only needs like 1 or 2 more racks in an alternate break format, you could do everything right that is within your power to do and still potentially lose the match. Whereas in a winner break format, you know, you can kind of make up that deficit if you really like freeze your opponent out. But again, like, this is probably like the difference of, like, you know, playing at the amateur level versus like the highest levels.
And those sort of situations you described there, even in a winner breaks format, they're so rare where someone comes back from a massive deficit, even with the winner break format. I think people tend to overstate how often these sort of things happen. The one I often get, and I really like correcting people on it, is that somebody will say, well, it's whoever wins the lag wins the match. And it just doesn't happen. It just never happens. As I said, at the World Championships, the most break-in runs we had with the best players in the world playing hundreds of matches was 5. And that happened once. And it just doesn't happen where people just don't get to the table. Often people cite to me the US Open semi-final from 24, I think it was, where Aloysius Yap played Koping Chung. It might have been 23. And Koping Chung won that 11-0. And people say, well, Aloysius didn't get to the table, but he did. He got to the table.
Was this where he potted every ball?
Yeah, he potted every ball. But yeah, people take that fact and turn it into Aloysius never got to the table, never got a shot. But that's absolutely not true. Aloysius got to the table 6-7 times.
Just so happened that every time he got there, he was on nothing.
But the first time he got to the table, I think, was at 1-0, and he had a shot he'd make 80% of the time. Like, he wouldn't expect it. And he's missed that shot. And from there, he hasn't got back to the table for another sort of 3 racks, and then you're suddenly 4-0, 5-0 down. But if he makes that, what was for him a routine shot, really, then you're potentially talking about a completely different scoreline. Completely different. But what I really like about the winner break format is how that sort of dynamic makes it so that the pressure shots are even more pressure.
That's true. That is very, very true. So, Matty with a little bit of a situation here. He wants to get this 6 away from the rail because it's not available into either corner pocket. So just wants to catch this right.
He hasn't hit that too hard, but it might have just gone past the middle, has it? I think he can make that. I think he's played that really well.
That's it, and he's not getting sucked into the trap there that a lot of people would, which is trying to check that white off the bottom rail with right hand side. On these slidey cloths, that check just loves to just not grab. So he's done the right thing there by playing with outside and swinging round. Okay, he's landed further away from it than he'd like. I still fancy him for this. Yeah, that's it. Don't be afraid to go across and back there. Again, longer than he'd like to be there, though.
Yeah, being straight, he's going to have to pull this back. He can't run it forward, so tougher to judge. He's got a big area to land in. Just about okay, but harder than he'd want.
Yeah, I think he's took his medicine a little bit there. If you really try and dig in on those longer ones, it's so much. It's so easy just to kind of put a little bit on it and rattle the ball. So he's made sure of the 8 and just backed himself for a bit of a tougher 9. Yeah.
It's almost like a wave of relief you could see come over his face there, because he knew that was important. 3-2's a lot better than 4-1. And he's right back in this now.
And it's him to break as well.
So for both players, last couple of breaks they've missed the 1, so let's see if Matty can get this back under control. He wants a nice solid contact. 1 ball in the side, and try as best as he can to see if he can get a shot on the 2. Again, he's hit the top point, and this time he's scratched.
Is the potting angle available here? I think so. Don't think the 4's quite covered it, looking at the way Imran's straight down on it. Looks like it goes.
Yeah, Harrison, Daniel, Siano. 19, please.
And these all connect pretty nicely.
Yeah, you think this is going to be the hardest shot in the run out. Just off straight. Trust your cueing. Doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball other than stop it.
Yeah, and a nice angle here just to float out past the 7. The 4 in the bottom right. Used a bit of the jaw there, but he's okay. Bit straight on this, so he might be drawing back for the 5. Oh, he had much more angle than I thought he did. Let's put that 7 there.
Yeah, the camera angles can be a bit deceptive. And even here, you know, I think he can get to the centre ball. He can cue past the side of the 7. Maybe a bit tight. Yeah, he's cueing down a little bit just to get up the table.
Again, he's fine here, but just if I was to be really critical, you know, you don't really want to be near the rail on this. You know, you get the feeling he'd like to just stun up one rail towards the 7, as he might be forced into using that left-hand side rail now, going forward. You don't mind it, but you'd rather not. Yeah, good shot. His fundamentals are just so solid. Yeah, you look at his bridge hand, his stance, his back arm, everything's just so solid and deliberate. Yeah, it really does get through the ball lovely. Even when he's got a little bit of a longer shot, just fires it in, no hesitation. So that's now 4-2 to Imran. And Imran has the break, so a chance to really, you know, well, with a reverse dish off Matty's scratch on the break there, if Imran can put together a dish off his break here, you know, it really puts the screws on Matty.
Yeah, I can't tell you how genuinely pleased I am to see him playing so well. After literally the last time I saw him in Saudi, he was struggling to even sit down. It's really good to see him back. I thought he'd be struggling a lot more than this. Let's see if he can work this breakout.
So he's breaking from just a little bit more towards the edge of the box than Matty is. Matty seemed to have been breaking just a little bit closer towards the centre. So I think a safety is the order of the day here if he can get through to the edge of that too. I think he's got a piece of it, but I've been wrong before. So he's playing a push out. So maybe trying to bait Matty into going for the bank here. He's digging. Could be firing at this. Turned it down. Played the safety. I don't think he's covered it. He's got the kiss of death. And has left that 2 on, I believe. Not an easy shot from 2 to 4 by any means. A lot of distance to cover to get back down table. Looks to be a bit off straight. If you don't get the spin on it to get back down towards the 4, you really don't get that on. You could even risk scratching in the side. Based on how many times he's got up and down off this shot, he may not actually be able to see all of it. I don't know. He's digging, so I think he's going for this. Deep screw down towards the 4. Lovely. Top drawer. So now, he's got a good angle here just to run forward, 2 rails, the 5. Right, decision time. Where's the 6 going? Doesn't pass the 9, I would be extremely surprised if a player of Imran's caliber even considered the combo. So do you try and hold this, play that little kind of like pinchy, grabby kind of draw shot to hold for the 6 in the bottom left? That's a shot I really don't like doing when you're this thin on it.
I can tell just by the way you've described it. Pinchy, grabby, awkward, every awkward word you could think of.
You know, so I'd be tempted to play this down into the... Oh no, that's what can happen.
Horrible result. And that's why you don't like it, I guess.
I would have been tempted there to try and get below the 6 to play it in the side. Not an easy shot either, but...
It didn't take much time there to consider any options. He's just played it with distance, knowing that 6 obviously doesn't pass the 9, but the last time he tried to play something a bit safe, and that fired in a ball. Yeah, this time he's left the tester, you can definitely see it. Just gone back to his seat to compose himself. Wipe down his towel. Wipe down his cue rather with his towel.
Yeah, Imran's long potting's been very good so far. You don't really have to do much. Well, you don't have to do anything with the white here. Pot the 6, you're automatically on the 7. Just all his focus is just going to be on potting that ball. Nothing but net. This is where, if you're Matty, you've really just got to try and put the last few hacks out of your head. You know, he's had a scratch on the break, he's had a few little safety mistakes go against him. You've really just got to forget about it. So he'll be trying to do as much as possible off this break here. His last couple breaks, he hasn't made the 1. I wonder if he's going to maybe change anything. Because he'll just want a chance to just take up clearance, settle himself a little bit, get himself back in the match. You know, especially at the, you know, we talk about like there's a big difference between, you know, such and such scoreline and such, but really, like, you know, 5-3 versus 6-2 is big. And again, he's missed that 1 high. Okay, he's made the 7, but
it's pretty much as bad as it can be without being snookered, isn't it? It's yeah, he just wants to get the opportunity to leave Imran where he wants to leave him. It's the last few times he's left the table, it's been, except for the last safety shot obviously that he just misplayed, it's been not his choice, it's been luck of the draw. So yeah, being first in on the rack makes a massive difference, even if you haven't got a pot on. But this is just about as horrible as you'd want.
So I'm not sure exactly how close the white is to the 1 here. You know, obviously safety is going to be the shot here, but oh my!
It was tough to judge. It was really tough to judge. It's one of those that makes you look silly, but he could only go that way. The way the 5 ball was, he couldn't possibly run the cue ball the other way. But
yeah, I was looking like, you know, like, that's why I said I'm not sure exactly how close and how the white and the 1 were set up, because I'd almost like to be trying to go maybe behind the rack, like down towards the 8 or maybe by the 3 and 5. But if that shot wasn't available, yeah, and he's kind of been faced with just that tough little one there. And as you say, it can make you look a bit silly, but it was probably his best option. So again, Imran with all the initiative. Yeah, start it round. Yeah, as I said earlier, you don't want to fall into that trap of trying to check things off the top rails. A lot of players, certainly on a lot of club tables, you can just check that up and come 1 rail for the 3. But Imran, with all his experience, especially experience in playing on these sorts of conditions, you know, you always want to just if possible, just let the white go in the direction it wants to go. Don't try checking things off cushions too much, because it's just going to slide away from you.
looks like he's going to be running into this 5 ball.
Yeah, I think he might just be a little bit thin to just play the, you know, the draw shot up above it.
A little bit of a sigh of relief as he comes around the table. He used every part of the pocket he could there. I think he thought it might not drop. Now looking to cut this into the middle, just for ease of position more than anything else.
Lovely. Again, not too much to do here. His pace control's looking really good as well. You know, even in situations like that where you're going across the line of your next shot, you know, it's no bother to him at all.
Yeah, I can understand Max taking a quick bathroom break to reset. But yeah, as you said there, Imran, he was so quick on that stroke as well. He's so confident that the ball's going to do what he tells it to. He's right at home in this arena. Let's see if we can go around the other tables and see what scores we've got going on in the last 16. Mark Foster currently 4-0 up on Tom Staveley. That's a scoreline that surprised me a little bit. I thought that would be a bit closer, but still early days there. Liam Monk 5-2 up on Richard Saunders. Danny Gockel 6-2 up on Michael Hope. Again, that's another one that could go either way. Gary Thompson and Mark Capito. Mark is 5-3 up. And how about this? Fraser Patrick, Ashik Nathwani. Ashik is 8-1 up.
That'll be a very good scalp for Ashik, taking out the defending champion. Well, I mean, Ashik's another veteran of the scene, you know, a very, very good player.
Yeah, Fraser though, he only comes to win, and I've just seen Ashik put the 9 ball in, and that is over. That is 9-1, and the defending champion's out. So we are going to have, for the 3rd time, another new name on this trophy, as the last remaining champion is out. The surprising scoreline is, I mean, he's always been capable, but 9-1 is just...
It's a dismantling.
Isn't it? Dean Shields is 5-1 up on Saman Golami, and the closest match at the moment, Jake Newlove and Oliver Lawrence tied at 4-4.
So we've also got some Challenge 2 Challenge 2 matches going on as well.
Yeah, you would have just heard Andy Yates making a call for one of those matches. With the players starting early.
For a lot of players, the main event, you know, I remember I always used to treat it as warm-up for Challenge 2. You know, that's where I'd have my fun in Challenge 2 back in the day.
But that's what these sort of events do, though. I love the fact there's a tiered event, and you can, as well as the main event, you get to have some matches against maybe people that are more your sort of skill level.
Yeah.
As well as being able to play these beasts in the main event, and everyone's guaranteed. I think it's at least 4 matches, because both events are double a limb. So at least 4 matches for your money is really good. Whereas there's some events out there that, I'm not mentioning any names, they'll play a straight race to 6, and once you're gone, you're gone. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I mean, that was always the joy of GB9. When I first started doing GB9, you know, to be able to play the main event and potentially play like a Mark Gray or Darren Appleton, you know, the players I watched when I was a kid. But then also to be able to play players at my sort of level, but in like the best kind of tournament conditions that I could expect, you know what I mean? Like, we're not just playing in a, you know, random club, like in a little local tournament, you know, as much as I love local tournaments, you know, you're playing
Oh wow,
in like an
there's 3,
arena. Ooh-wee. And yep, 2 still available to the corner.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you there.
Ah, that's all right.
Just saw that flying in. But yeah, chance here now from
I think he can just stun over and avoid any funny contacts on the 7. Yeah.
Yeah, just going back to your mention of the tiered events, they're also going to run at this event for the first time a trial pro event. That'll take place tomorrow, so I believe it's everybody that makes it through to the quarterfinals. So the top 8 players will get through to that pro event. So that's going to not involve Fraser Patrick there. And an extra little competition for those, and it also means that the tier 1 event is going to be a bit more competitive, perhaps, if those players aren't going to be playing in tier 1 anymore. I say that now, Fraser's in that one instead, but you know.
Yeah, if I get Fraser first round of challenge, man.
It's certainly possible.
Okay, right, Matty in with a chance now. Just 3 balls. I think this will be the first rack. Well, if he takes these, I don't want to jinx it too much. But if he takes these, this will be the first rack he's won in, I don't know, like 4 or 5 racks?
Yeah, it was 3-2 at one point. So, yeah. And that was, yeah, he was 3-1 down, so he won to get 3-2, and then since then, Imran's been on a bit of a rampage. But yeah, that pro event as well, they're also going to trial the winner breaks format, but only for that pro event. So we'll see what we think of that. Like I say, that's tomorrow. Today we're very much concentrating on the main event.
So a little bit of a shot required here. Yeah, he's not the side he'd like to be on the 8, so he's got that's all right. Bit 50-yard-ish, but fancy Matty for this.
Yeah, I'm struggling to think if he's actually had a straight in 9 ball yet. I remember he had a thin one early on. I can't remember the second one, but yeah, he's fighting to stay in this.
And Matty to break. It's a lovely cue he's got. He's got it on the table there.
You're always a side of the game that fascinates me, how much players chop and change their equipment.
Always just searching for that extra ball, you know. This shaft will make you shoot a ball better. This one, has he got a shot on the 3 here?
He does.
So he's finally made the 1 on the break. He's made the 2 as well. He's got a shot on the 3, but it's not an easy path back to the 4. You've got to cue it well. I think you've got to draw it back. I don't really like going forward here. There's a bit of traffic that you might run into on the way back up. It's 9, 6, 7. So big draw shot required here. Oh, he's got into it well. Unfortunately, just not where he wants to be. From the angle he had on that 3, it was hard to kind of stay on the right-hand side of the 4. But no heroics here. He's just going to play safe, try and get behind the 8. Using the 9 as well. I think he's left an edge. He may even have left the potting angle.
Yeah, I think he has. Just whether Imran actually wants to use that or he wants to. He's looking at kick and stick, potentially.
Yeah, he'd have to be feeling really aggressive to be shooting at the 4 to pot it here. At this sort of distance. Kick and stick can go wrong though. You can catch the 5 with the 4. Oh, he's played it really well.
Yeah, tap of acknowledgement from Matty. Knows that was a good one.
So Matty now looking at potentially trying to kick and stick as well. Going 1 rail, so they'd be trying to really kind of load this up with as much side as possible. So you say he's left the 4 in the middle of the table. There's not really a lot Imran can do with it, like from an attacking perspective. So again, just another safety. Maybe try and float the white behind 6 and 7. He's thinking about something. Surely he's not shooting at this, no.
No, it just looks like it's one of those where every option he looks at, he's finding problems and a reason not to shoot it that way. So it looks like he's playing it down to the bottom left, quite thin, and sending the cue ball around the table to the right. Has he found the gap though? He has.
So Matty's got options here. You can play the safety where you shoot the 4 up off the side rail down to bulk and just try and like stick in behind the 7-6. Could play the bank, but I'd be very surprised if he went for it. Or you can go the other way. You can. Ooh, hello. No, he's feeling aggressive. You know what? I don't mind that. You get sucked into these safety battles, and if you end up losing them, it can really sting. And Matt is at the point in the match where he really just needs to put his stamp on it, take control of the initiative. And sometimes that means being aggressive. He's played a good shot to bank the 4 there and get on the 5, and now he's in pretty good shape here for the rest of the rack.
Yeah, something to be said for making something happen rather than waiting for it to happen. At the same time, if he catches the point and leaves an easy safety, he'll be kicking himself. But that isn't what happened.
Yeah, because he has had a few safeties backfire this match. So maybe he thought it's time to try something different.
Whatever, it was a super shot that's led to this chance. And finally, he has what you'd call a straightforward 9-ball, which he deposits with no issues whatsoever.
There we go, 6-4. He's fighting back in this match now, Matty. We do have Imran to break, and he's been breaking well. So, Imran with the dry break. That is a first, I believe, in this match.
Is the tide turning? It was Matt who was leaving chances off his breaks early. Now he's doing something to get back into it. It's weird how often you see this happen, don't you? You just see the luck sort of change. This goes with the momentum like it knows. It knows we want a hill thriller. Is he going to get away with this? I think he is.
Yep. It wasn't a gimme that with what he had to do to get over the 2-ball. Jump combo? Nah, maybe.
Adventurous.
Just going for highlight reel shots. Oh yeah, no, he's looking at it.
Also, the 3 is such a big ball, isn't it? When trying to play safe off a kick or a jump here, you could easily leave a very simple combo to the bottom right. So yeah, maybe this is the easiest shot on the table. It's just come out enough.
So another chance for Matty here. White's going to be travelling here. Just come back up. One on the side and just come back up for the two. Oh, it's going around. It looks like it was a bit thicker than I thought it was on the one, but yeah. He's actually played a good line there. Or in a sense, not far off. A very, very good line to kind of come back up off, away from the pot angle of the two. To the corner, but it's just not quite worked out. But he's played a good shot here. I don't think he's left the potting angle. Could be wrong. Camera angles can be a bit funny. Either way, it's a tester queuing off the hill. I think he has left the potting angle. Based on Imran's body language, at least. Maybe not.
No, just managed to take a look at it, and he hasn't left the potting angle. It's really close. Whether he's left Imran enough to even get the two ball up and down, or if it's even thinner than that. So yeah, it was tougher than it looked on our cameras.
So a chance here for Matty. Bit of a long shot on the two, but you don't really have to do anything. You know, hold for the three. As long as you don't, well, no, I don't want to say it out loud in case I jinx it. As long as you don't end up behind like the 8 and 9 or something.
Yeah, you literally just said it, but I was thinking he could use the 8 and 9 as a bit of a blocker. He could play the 2 to the bottom left, and just in case he misses, he could pinch the cue ball off the side, but it doesn't look like he's going to be playing it that way.
No, I think just make sure of the pot here. No heroics. I know there can sometimes be that like temptation to like play. Oh no!
It's not bad though.
There can be that temptation sometimes to play the shot like a two-way shot. So like, all right, if I miss it, you know, I'm not, you know, I can maybe hide behind these balls or whatever. But sometimes you just got to back yourself to pot the ball. Like, you know, if you get wrapped up too much in contingencies or trying to do something with the white to mitigate against what you might leave if you miss it, it can sometimes make the shot harder. Matty has just focused on potting the 2 there, but he has missed it. But he's not had the worst result. I think 6 is covering a good piece of this too. I think you've got to, yeah, as Imran's looking at it, you've got to kick at it, because if you try and just play off the part of the 2 you can see, you're scratching down in that bottom left pocket, so bit of a fiddly one here. Kick one rail, but they try and get the 2 back towards the middle of the bottom cushion, send the white up table. I know at least some of you watching will be looking at kicking the white off the top rail and trying to kick the 2 in. I'd probably be going for that at home. Not here, but really making absolutely sure here Yeah, he's got a 2-rack lead. He does not want to do something that gives Matty a chance to close that gap to 1. Ooh. Yeah, he's tried to kick and catch the top of the 2, or the top half of the 2, to kick it back towards the middle of the bottom cushion. But as a result, he's ended up missing the ball. Yeah, if he was just playing to make contact with that 2, you know, he hits it every time. But because he's just tried to do a little bit with it as well, just makes it a little bit fiddly. Yeah, still a surprising one. So again, Matty with a chance here. Very well get off the rail. Like to be off the rail here. He's just gonna, because he's gonna then be playing the 5 off the rail, which he'd rather not. So what's that angle like? Actually drew the cue ball back a little bit to that 4. Yeah, so yeah, he had plenty of angle. Nice. A bit low on this. He's looking at trying to play this off 1 rail.
Yes, it's just from our camera angle, I was wondering whether that was possible, but it's the shot he's immediately looked at, so maybe not as thin as it looks here. Yeah, he's played it okay. Yeah.
The deceptive camera angle strike once again. That looked, from where I was sitting, it looked that thin that I'd be looking at maybe.
I was looking at 3 rails around the back of the 7, yeah.
In and out of ball.
I guess that's why I'm sat here.
Yep. So, it to the middle, I think, is the shot here.
Wow. Just not stopped.
Yeah. I don't know if he was maybe trying to get round for the 8 in the other middle, but that's very aggressive, particularly with the way that it's always going to like lose some of that pace off the second rail when you go side rail like that. Alright, he's had 1 kick go in his favour on the 8. I think at early doors he kicked an 8-10. So can he do it again? Oh my god, he can.
He absolutely meant that one. Julian standing over it just in case of the close hit, but Matty played that perfectly.
So another bank. I feel like, you know, I know there's some players that will play the 2 rail safety here, you know, try and park the cue ball and 9 on opposite side rails. I don't like that on a 9. If you've got a chance to play something aggressive on the 9, a lot of the time I like to play it. Especially against someone like Imran.
Oh, I saw Joshua Phillip taught a lot of people a shot on a similar situation on this with the 3 rails into the middle that ends up as a safe. If it doesn't go in. But that's incredible. What a great finish.
I always remember Kazakis against Al-Qaedi in the Masters that year in the final.
The Hill final, yeah.
You know, where Kazakis took on a bank on the 7 at Hill that was arguably tougher than the bank on the 9 he turned down. And he's played safe on the 9. Played as good, probably as good as a safe as you can. You know, he's put the 9 on the middle of the bottom cushion, white plenty far away. And then Al-Qaedi's just drained the long bank. And, you know, Kazakis was just in his chair looking devastated. You know. But as you say, yeah, Joshua Filler with that 3 rail shot that goes safe, you know, if you miss a pot on like a bank on the 9 or something there is always a chance of it getting safe. But if you miss the safe, you're never making the pot unless you hit it absolutely barmy. But can't get a result on the break, Matty. He's made the 1 now, but and that seems to have, that correction seems to have been made, but no shot on the 2.
Yeah, seems to be hitting them a little bit thinner than he was early on. So he has made the adjustment.
I don't like pushing here. I think, he's looking at the kick. Kick safe. Got a few options. Kicking off the left-hand rail. Could maybe try and get behind it off 2 rails. Play the kick and stick. Or you can just play it off 1 rail. Try and kick the 2 towards the middle of the left-hand rail there. You've got the 4, 8, and 9 all to hide behind. The white's going to be heading towards the other side. So I don't blame him for going for a kick here. So he's got the kick and sticky sort of shot, and I think it's worked. Ooh, don't know. Yeah, I think he's got it. Yeah, that's something you see more and more of now, the push, certainly when I was first learning 9-ball, if I didn't have it, it was kind of a given that if you just didn't have a shot on the lowest ball after the break, you'd be pushing to somewhere. But even there in a situation where Matty was snookered, he's got so much more to gain from trying to get that kick safe than he has from just pushing out and then putting initiative in Imran's hands. He wants to dictate the flow of this game from here. So Imran with a jump to the side. He's missed it, but he's made the bank. Saying that, he's not really been given too much reward positionally for it. But he's got big targets here to use if he wants to play safe. And again, that 4, 8, and 9 is just a bunker in the middle of the table that you can use for hiding. Could even play a bit of a 2-way shot here. So now it's Matty's turn to go for the short cue. How aggressive do you feel? Jump the 3. Make the pot. Stun over off the side rail. Break out the 4-9. Highlight. Ooh, no. Oh, I thought he scratched there. Oh, no, he's given it a very good effort, and again, just been a bit punished for it. But he's got an edge of this. I think it's just going to be a very thin little snick. Just so tough to do to just catch the very thin edge of a ball. So Imran with a chance here to the middle. Going back to what we were talking about earlier. Oh no. I think he's playing safe. He's digging. Yeah. Not even tempted by it to the middle. I was going to say, as we were saying earlier, those are the sorts of shots where that near point just looks huge.
Yeah, those middle pockets are tiny when you're coming in from any sort of angle, really.
Yeah.
as big as they look when you're straight on. There's not much room for error at all.
Hitting this far, we want to get. Oh. So Imran once again with a chance. I think that 5 passes to 6. Have we got the alternate camera angles here? We can see if the 5 passes to 6.
We do, but I don't know if you can see it. Let me just take a look. Well, Imran's in the way of it at the moment. He's not quite on the correct line.
I don't think it passes based on that.
I mean, I am right behind it, and even I can't tell, so it's that tight.
Yeah, so it looks like he's going forward here. Potentially take the 5 up to the bottom right pocket. May even try and get round for. Nah, yeah. I was gonna say he may even try and get round for it into like, I don't know, like left-hand middle or left-hand top corner, but that'd be not an advisable shot.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of just keeping the cue ball as simple as you can.
Never play position if you've already got position. You know, don't try and do too much. And sometimes you just got to back yourself for like a little bit of a longer shot sometimes. Ooh.
He's getting chances now that he wasn't getting early on.
This is the thing. I think if you're in Matty's position here, you've got to shoot at this. You know, 6 is so close to the corner bag that you can just focus on making the pot here. Ooh. He's used all the pocket and more there. So yeah, just wants to. Yeah, he's just putting his cue where he wants to be. He doesn't want to bring that 9 into play here. Pace like pretty good. That is pretty much inch perfect. And just a little stun off the side rail for the 9 in the same pocket, I believe. Yep. So this 9 for 6-6.
And he has not had the easiest clearances, has he? He has
He's had to work for it.
been kicking at stuff and banking stuff.
I believe the deficit was what? 5-2? Was it
6-2.
6-2.
6-2, yeah, so he's 1-4 on the spin. Now we just got a race to 3. And Imran wisely just takes a minute. Matty did this at 6-2 and has come back and hasn't lost a rack since, so.
Timing of when you take your time out. You know, I believe was it 1 time out per player per match?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how they run it at GB9, to be honest. It's
certainly knowing when to take it can be huge. You know, if you need to just compose yourself or.
But elsewhere, Liam Monk has got himself through 9-5 against Richard Saunders. Danny Gockel has beaten Michael Hope 9-5 as well. Same scoreline. We've already brought you the shock result of Fraser Patrick losing 9-1 to Ashik Nathwani. Not necessarily a shock as the winner, but just the scoreline. And Dean Shields, who you mentioned earlier how well he plays this game, He's won 9-2 against Saman Gholami, so he's through safely to the quarterfinals as well. Interesting, those 4 matches, they're all in separate quarterfinal matches, so we don't have a quarterfinal lineup yet, not a single match ready to go. All the other matches still going on. Mark Capito is on the hill against Gary Thompson 8-6, and Mark Foster has a convincing lead 7-2 over Tom Staveley, but as we've seen here, that can change. It was 6-2 here and now 6-6, so Oliver Lawrence and Jake Newlove still cannot be separated. Last time we checked in it was 4-4, it's now 7-7.
Neck and neck all the way on that one.
Jake, quite famously, has a bit of a knack for breaking cues when things go wrong. Might cost him a bit more in these carbon fibre ones.
I'd be impressed if he managed to do that to a carbon fibre shaft.
Never underestimate him.
The Butcher. So Imran returning to the arena. Looking cool and composed. And it is him to break. One in the side. A few balls kind of stuck down there on the bottom rail. There is a shot here from 2 to 3. And our referee Julian has said something. I didn't quite catch what that was. Did you catch that, Ben? What Julian was saying there?
Oh no, sorry, I didn't. I missed that. Was he in the arena, was he?
Yeah.
I wonder if it was a question of a soft break, perhaps? Not sure.
Yeah.
I know it's something he's certainly been spoken to about before, but obviously with the recent health problems he's had, it's very difficult. I'll tell you a quick story. I remember giving Tony Drago a soft break warning at a European, probably our first European Open. And Tony is not a man to mince his words, and he just turned around to me and says, "Come on, mate, I've had 2 heart attacks. Be a bit fairer." I went, that's fair enough to.
Yeah. So, the regulation of like the firm break versus the soft break. Now, in the past, we had things like the 3-point rule where, it was either a combination of 3 balls potted or past the head string on the break, and that constituted a legal break.
Mm-hmm.
Since I believe the reason that the 3-point rule isn't used so much now is because of changes made to the break. With the high rack and breaking from the box, it can sometimes be harder to get that. But, I don't think he meant to catch that 8 there with 3.
No, he meant to send it all the way up table, didn't he?
So there is like a little bit of, I guess you could argue, a subjective interpretation of like what the...
Oh, you can definitely argue that. That's yeah, absolutely. It is subjective. Yeah.
I suppose that just knows, part of it is just knowing, well, what is this player physically capable of and delivering on the break. So I think Matt is shooting at this. I don't blame him. He's got himself back into this match by playing aggressive where it's been required. Used all the pocket, but where are you taking the 5? It's got a good bit of angle here just to come up I think round the back of it, I like going 2 rails here, especially when you're kind of like that close to the rail with a cue ball. Don't try and go 1 rail, just use the 2.
Yeah, you'd have to really raise the butt of the cue to just get 1 rail. So, yeah, absolutely the right shot.
These are almost laid out like a drill, you know. From like the 6 to the 7 to the 8. You know, there's kind of like 1 cushion shot drills you get. So just run this through. Give yourself a nice bit of angle. Perfect. Yeah, he likes to get a positive stroke on the ball, Matty. You know, doesn't. Yeah, like some players might have tried to float that 1 rail. You know, I'm with Matty there. I like using the 2, just put a bit of more of a positive hit on the cue ball. Sometimes when you kind of like float balls or like slow roll them, you're almost begging to miss. I think where possible, positive stroke's always better. So just punch off the side rail and back out here. Yeah. And he's looking much more comfortable than he was just a few racks ago. I think that's a testament to, you know, his temperament that we were talking about earlier. He was in a lot of trouble at 6-2 down, and all of a sudden it's 7-6. And Matty to break.
And again, when we were talking about earlier, you mentioned it's quite difficult to come back from a large deficit with this alternate break format, but immediately this sort of thing just proves that it is possible. It's more about momentum than anything else.
There's a 1 on the side.
Oh. Yeah.
No Goldie, but look where the 2 is. Nice and close. All right, just got to be a little bit careful with the 4 and 5 here coming up for the 3, but not really too much to do. Like even the centre ball position gets you there. Just about drops. Pocket speed.
Well, I don't think he thought it was pocket spoon. The way he stood up on that shot, he thought he'd miss that, but I'll take that.
Just having a look at the 5 there. Like, he's just making his mind up. Does he want to take that to the middle, or does he want to take it long? I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind taking it to the middle. Like, I mean, I think it's close enough and far enough out that it's a makeable shot. You do have to be careful of the near jaw here, and you do have to be careful it doesn't spit off the far jaw. Like, from where he's actually ended up landing on it, I think, actually, corner bag is probably the shot. Because of where he wants to get to for the 6. But, yeah, that's when he's changed plans there. I think he was initially looking at taking it to the middle when he was looking at his shot on the 4, but he's been prepared to adjust. Didn't land where he wanted to be on the 5, so he's just adjusted. Keying over the 8 here a little bit, but not expecting any problems here. 1 rail back out.
He's really taken command of this match. You really thought it was probably all over. And Imran took that 6-2 lead. And if he can just hold himself together here, he's going to be on the hill he's going to get at least 1 chance off the break. with the alternate break format. But Imran will have 2 of the last 3.
This is where temperament and backing yourself real. Ooh, he's a bit funny off the rail. Rather not be here. You know, when you're just taking out those last few balls, you know, to go on the hill from being so far behind in this match, you know, that's when the little shakes can start to creep in, the pressure can start to get to you, and he's holding himself together really, really well.
Now, I can't tell when he's walking around the table if he's just having a little sing to the song or whether he's just talking to himself after every shot.
I think he has a little mutter to himself. Words of encouragement. Reprimand, perhaps.
Oh yeah, I do it a lot. Oh, do you
remember when they used to mic up players at like some of the
well,
big events?
They still do it. They still do it at some events. So especially things like the Reyes Cup and Mosconi Cup, they still do it. World Cup of Pool, they still do it. Yeah, it's more of a logistics thing, makes it very difficult. But yeah, sometimes you get some very funny situations.
Some iconic, memorable moments and quotes.
Some more broadcastable than others.
Yeah. Oh, 9 ball? Nah.
I do quite like listening to the players' thoughts process, especially with doubles when they're mic'd up, and listening to how they talk to each other. And then you get the dynamic of who's in control and who's, you know, it's a good thing to hear. But I don't think I could play with one, because I have to wear one all the time refereeing, and that gets in the way. I don't think I'd want to cue a ball with one in my pocket.
No. So do you shoot at this, Imran? I think you've got to. Yeah, you're keying over a ball, but it's not a gimme by any means, but you don't want to be giving back initiative to Matty here. Oh, that's wide.
I think he was right to take it on, just like you said there, just when Matt was really under it, he took on a really tough bank that you'd probably expect most of the time he'd turn down, but he really tried to make something happen, and Imran's tried to do the same thing there, but different result this time.
So, not an easy shot here. Yeah, lovely. Tougher than it looks, that. Whenever you're like high on it like that, it's a bit thin.
Still talking to himself.
Didn't want that kiss. Is he tempted by another bank?
I think he's going to be. He's
down on it quick.
No, maybe not then. Maybe not. Just clipping off this.
Yeah, sensible.
It is sensible, but he hasn't missed one.
That's it, you know, like you're like, you know, Tuesday night, Friday night flyer where it's a tenner in. Yeah, you shoot at the bank there because like why not? But yeah, here, yeah, you gotta think with your head.
Yeah, not something I do too often, unfortunately. I've been straight at that bank.
I'd be straight at it. I'd probably then be selling out, but like.
Oh, 100%. Oh yeah, I'm not saying in any way it's the right shot.
It's the fun shot. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. So, has Matty been rewarded for his level-headedness and sensibleness?
Okay, Can he get into this enough to avoid
I think so,
hitting
yeah.
another ball?
Is he a bit off straight? Yeah, he's a bit off straight.
Tracking towards that 8, I think. Yeah, he avoided it.
To be honest, I'd almost maybe not mind if you catch like the top bit of the 8 and just kick it away from the 6, you know, you're still coming up towards the 5. Here now you've just got to be a bit careful of, because of where the 8 is, he's almost forced into taking a bit of a, because he's straight on this 5, you're almost forced into taking a bit of a longer shot. Oh no, he had enough to pinch it there, that's good.
Yeah, he made a bit of angle there. Yeah, the alternative was just pretty much a stop shot and leaving a bit of distance, because you'd have been scared of coming back and the 8 being in the way, but he's given himself this chance now.
So through the gap and then just hold for the 7 in the same pocket? Or is he drawing into the 8? Oh, yeah, you can tell he's feeling good if he's going for that sort of stuff. Through the gap and then back through it again.
What a great shot that was.
He's not scared to put a bit of mustard on the ball, is he?
Yeah, he's got a tiny bit of angle here so he can get out. Yeah.
Got PJ Allen in the chat saying, come on Matthew lad. If he tweaks this, PJ, it's your fault.
It's been a great match though. Really has been. And yeah, he just didn't even have to throw his arm at that. He's got the cue all on a string now. He's played really well to win that match.
Very, very well done. From 6-2 down, he's won 7 racks in a row to win 9-6. Very well played by Matty Rigley there.
Yeah, and we will be back shortly for one of the quarterfinals. Not sure yet which one we're going to have, but yeah, we will join you very, very soon.
Ryan Grant, Carl Williams, table 28, please.
Hey, yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember. Hey, a moment can live on forever. Now they coming wires, I'm retired off the desk months. I was in the